One of my first jobs was walking along the beach as a wildlife steward for the town of Babylon. Just after my first year in college, after Hurricane Sandy, I returned to that job and my role expanded to disaster recovery. As I was doing that work, I noticed how it was only those who had the resources, the money, the power, the privilege, who were getting all of the benefits of the recovery. And so I left that experience and my home along the beach, understanding that the climate crisis that we are confronting is also a political and moral crisis.
We have a responsibility to stand alongside those who are facing those consequences here in the present and fight for an alternative and more just future.
1.5 to stay alive.
The work that I'm doing now is staging strategic interventions. A strategic intervention is when you're able to claim a space that wasn't designed for you, and where you're able to confront those responsible for climate change, for political injustice, and demand an entirely different future for everybody to be able to thrive. These strategic interventions may take the form of a protest, may take the form of draping a monument, may take the form of staging sit-ins at various senators' offices. The group I organized with, all of us, staged an action targeting Senator Tom Carper. We went inside the Senate building into his office, demanding that he do 3 things to prove that he deserved his position. 1 was to demand the removal of Steve Bannon from the White House. 2 was to fight against the Muslim ban. And 3 was to step down from his ranking position on the Environment Committee of the Senate due to his past support for the Keystone XL pipeline. Now, Senator Carper happened to be 1 office over from where we were sitting in, and he walked out to confront us.
Absolutely, we're happy. Sit down, be quiet.
He asked me to sit down, and I refused to. Instead, I explained our demands and why we were sitting there. He said no to all of them. But after that sit-in, not only did Senator Carper come out publicly against the Keystone XL pipeline, his rhetoric and his stances against Donald Trump increased exponentially. Instead of fearing his corporate donors, he started to fear us.
Anthony really took a lot of leadership in being willing to put himself out in front of this action and be a voice that people could really resonate with.
Rex Tillerson needs to be held responsible. And we're here because we say no more. No more.
If we're going to address climate change and achieve climate justice, that means confronting the true culprits, and that means confronting the fossil fuel CEOs, that means confronting the politicians whose pockets are filled by those industries. We need direct action. We need to intervene now, boldly. We need a grand new vision for how we produce energy and how we relate to one another. We're the revolution of folks who are building the movements, who are building the organizations, and who are building the relationships that are going to actually transform how we create a new country and a new world that represents all of us.